What's up, YouTube? Silver Dragons here, and today I'm joined with Marc Levy from Norsemont Mining. He's the founder and now the CEO and chairman. Welcome, Marc.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're really excited to talk about your company and also talk about everything that's going on in precious metals. So obviously, we've been seeing this crazy run up in gold. Seems like we're definitely in a bull market. How long do you think this will last? I mean, do we got another 5-10 years of this?
I think we're in a good bull market here. Based on my thoughts initially and being conservative, I think we've got at least a good 3 years ahead of us, if not longer. Obviously, COVID has exacerbated the debts that all of the nations have taken on, and there's been a big flight to hard assets such as silver and gold. So that's bode well for us for now. And I'm not sure we'll be able to get our debt under control that easily. So we may have a longer bull market than I expect, and hopefully that's the case. Gold is a great store of wealth and proven over the test of time compared to a lot of the currencies out there. And unfortunately, a lot of the countries are, their currencies are backed by debt, not by hard assets. So that's, I guess, why, we're seeing such a good reaction in the gold markets and price appreciation.
So do you feel like the metal has much more upside moving forward?
Sure. Based on a lot of analyst reports, including Bank of America, they're targeting $2,500 gold next year. And the way things are going this year, maybe they're wrong, and maybe it'll hit $2,500 this year, even with what's going on in the world. There's a lot of other guys that might have even a lot more robust views towards gold here, and I do think we will see gold testing new highs over the course of the next 24 months here for sure, very easily.
Now, you ran a mining company that was involved in metals. I know it's copper and gold in the early 2000s. Is this better than 2004? And also, is the industry healthier? Is the industry looking for acquisitions?
Sure. I mean, I think back in early 2000s, metals were suppressed for a long period of time, and similar to the environment today, the mining sector has been suppressed for over the last 10 years or so, and I think that the industry is a lot healthier. I do think the economics of the precious metal space, it bodes quite well because of the risk flight towards hard assets and demand for precious metals. So I do think the timing is right, and definitely there's a lot of talk amongst the mid-tier and large cap producers that are running out of reserves and looking at small and mid-sized companies to provide them with projects and production. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for acquisitions, and I think that's going to heat up. The M&A space is definitely going to heat up over the course of the next 24 months, which will be a good timing for us, and I think for some of the other mid-tier companies out there.
So what would you say is the biggest catalyst for higher prices for gold, silver, and copper, really?
Well, I think the demand for gold and silver and precious metals is due to all the uncertainty of the world and the markets, unprecedented times due to COVID, and debt levels at the most extreme, points ever. If we thought our debt load was insurmountable a year ago, imagine today where things have gone tenfold. So that's created a lot of demand to store wealth in hard assets such as silver and gold. And then copper, obviously, as the world grows, there's a lot more construction, demand for infrastructure. We've obviously got our favorite Tesla, or electric cars out there that use quite a bit of copper in their manufacturing. So there's quite a demand for that, and a shift from, I think, the old school gasoline cars to electric cars. And I think that all is a catalyst on the base metal side of things as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Gold and silver, great store of wealth, and I think we will see new highs moving forward. If we could bring it to Norsemont Mining. So from my understanding, the project the company owns in Chile is a past producer worth an estimated nearly 260 million Canadian. And when you drilled it, you found 5.5 million ounces of gold. So I assume this was very expensive to acquire. Would you be able to tell us how much you paid for that?
Sure. So yeah, Chokeo was the third largest gold producer in the late 80s, early 90s. And as you said, a lot of money has gone into infrastructure, over 200 million, and there's over 130,000 meters of drilling, which have cost over 50 million. And so we've got an initial resource of 5.5 million ounces of gold equivalent. We ended up acquiring the project during the peak of, I guess, panic and pandemic of COVID. World was upside down. And as well, we had a good relationship with the vendors, which is one of the largest conglomerates in Chile. And we ended up acquiring it for about $10 million in stock and in cash. Obviously them taking a position in equity, believed in the upside of the project and in us being able to deliver on the upside of the project.
Now, 5.5 million ounces of gold, that's quite an astounding number. I know there's a lot of silver bugs out there. You must have quite a bit of silver to be mined as well. Can you talk about that?
Sure, yeah. We've actually got 4.1 million ounces of gold and 62.5 million ounces of silver, which produces a 5.5 million ounce gold equivalent. And obviously we all know and believe that silver's got a lot more upside than gold and will create a lot more value. I think gold's, targeting to go up 2.5 times from where it is today. I mean, my guess is about $5,000 an ounce, but I think silver's projected to go, to multiply a lot more than that. So I think there's a big return and a larger upside on the silver side. So having, 62 million ounces, and we believe we can go fourfold with that and get our silver up to 250 million ounces silver would put us in a very large scale silver content and project as well. And definitely I'm a big believer in silver myself personally, and believe in the upside in it as well. So it's good to be able to have the exposure for both gold and silver here.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. So currently the market cap is about 100 million Canadian. What are other companies with 5.5 million ounces in gold worth? And what does Norsemont need to do in order to convince investors that it deserves a higher valuation?
Sure. One of our jobs is to drill the project and bring the resource up to measured and indicated. And that would definitely help us get a better valuation. A lot of banks like Desjardins Bank use $96 an ounce. Haywood uses $76 an ounce. So everybody's between the $75 and $100 an ounce. So, that could lead to us having about a $500 million market cap from where we are today with the asset that we have currently in the ground. And then obviously, for us to convince investors, we need to get the story out, which we haven't told the story. We haven't been presenting to institutions as of yet, and the retail public. And we're just going to start that process as we speak now to generate the interest. And as we're well funded from our own team and insiders and value added partners. And now it's time to really get the story out and get the word out and show the upside to attract more investors to the company and generate a better value for ourselves.
That's great. So what is the plan from today until exit, and what value creation can be expected if all this works out?
Sure. So I'll tell you, our game plan here is we're looking to drill between 50 and 60,000 meters of drilling. And that would take us to a pre-feasibility and a PEA situation. And we're targeting upwards of 20 million ounces due to the size of the system. It's only been 20% of the project's been explored, and it's only been drilled down to about 70 or 80 meters. So there's another 3 or 4 times once we drill this down to about 250 meters. There's probably 3-4 times the resource below surface here. And we believe that once we, get the drilling done and extend the resource, we have the ability to build a $1 billion plus company here and create an exit and be acquired by a larger producer. Or we do have the ability, because of our existing infrastructure and permitting, is we can fast track this to production and generate cash flow and become a cash producing company. So we have the best of both worlds. A lot of guys talk about wanting to exit. We've created a lot of exits amongst our team. We know how to create exits on our board. We've had 25 billion of exits on our board combined, and but we also have the production side of it down pat. And actually, one of our team members is one of the original guys, David Lang, who actually put this in production. So we actually have the gentleman who put this in production originally and created a third largest producer on our team. So we have the capacity to go down both avenues, which is a nice thing, to be able to have two opportunities to create value for our shareholders.
So what are your goals with Norsemont Mining?
My goals are to build a $2 billion gold mining company and create value for our shareholders, or create cash flow or a big exit for them. I've done it before on a smaller scale, the 520 million. So, this asset, I think, gives me the opportunity to build a multi-billion dollar company based on the size and scope of the asset, the timing, the price point of gold. I do believe gold's going to probably get towards $5,000 plus an ounce with these times. So valuations will definitely increase dramatically as that happens. And also the size of our deposits quite significant, and there's 3-4 times the upside on just the size of our deposit alone. So based on commodity prices, based on the size of our deposit growing, I'm expecting that I can create, a $2 billion mining company out of this.
And I know you're kind of calling this Norsemont Mining 2.0, right? Because as I mentioned, you were involved in Norsemont Mining back in the early 2000s. Could you talk about some of your successes in your career of founding, building companies?
Sure. Yeah. Norsemont, we originally put that together back in 2003-4. I was the founder, CEO, and chairman. We acquired a copper gold, silver deposit in Peru. We took it through to feasibility and sold it to Hudbay for $520 million. And another company that we tried to acquire called Petaquilla Minerals was another large copper asset in Panama. We couldn't come to terms, so I acquired a big share position, put our team onto their board and management, and we ended up selling that company for about $350 million to Inmet Mining, another large producer. And then I went on to be one of the founding shareholders of a company called Coal Hunter, which was a coal project in Canada. We sold to Cardero Group for $52 million. And I was also the founder of a company called Rio Silver out of Peru, which we also exited. So we've had 4 public company exits in the mining sector in that time, is about 2011. And then I was one of the 3 founders of a company called Aurora Cannabis. We shifted gears, our merchant bank, into cannabis sector. And I was one of the guys that did Curaleaf and Cannabis One. And so we've been involved with quite a few successes in the cannabis sector as well. And a year ago, we decided that the timing was right to get back into mining, and we wanted exposure to precious metals such as gold and silver for our own portfolios, ourselves, and the market. And we came back with a much more robust project, which is Chokeo here, and team to develop a mining company and sell it off. And I haven't sold $1 billion plus mining company, and my personal goal here would be, to take Norsemont to $1 or $2 billion market cap. And I think the asset could provide that for us and the market in general, and create an exit for my shareholders, or put myself in a position where we're running a production play and cash flowing and providing dividends for our shareholders. So that's kind of a little bit more of a background of my career, and some of the successes our team and myself we've enjoyed.
That's awesome, Mark. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing all this information. We're very excited, Norsemont Mining 2.0. And is there anything else you'd like to add? And also, where can people find more information about the company?
Sure. They can take a look at our website, norsemontmining.com, as well as if they have the opportunity to look up our stock. Ticker symbol is NOM in Canada or NRRSF in the United States on the OTC QB. And appreciate this opportunity to expose our company to your audience, and look forward to following up as we advance the project and hopefully get to update your investors and your audience.
Awesome. Well, we would love that. So thanks again, Mark, for coming on. And thank all of you for listening. We'll see you all in the next one. Take care.